can kill this bird here. They do share the same habitat,
Okay.
okay? But it can have no problem of killing this bird. So, yeah, everybody has, and with all the cars, number one way these birds are killed are cars. Second one is poisoning. Third one is shooting. And the latest one are those big windmills. They have no idea what those are. Okay? When a bird of prey, especially a hawk, fixes his eye on prey, remember he's got to find food. Okay? When he fixes his eye on prey, his vision starts from way back here and comes all the way this way. This bird here can see a mouse a quarter of a mile away and count toes. But when he's coming down, cruising about 55 miles an hour, but in a dive, this one hits 120. And all he sees, he'll cross his eyes, and he knows he's got to get that mouse. All right, let me get you out of here for a minute. Come on, up. He knows he's got to get that mouse. So he knows that mouse is going to jig-jag. Because that mouse really doesn't want to be eaten.
No.
That's just not in his deal for the night. So as he's coming down at 120, and that mouse is like, oh, no, 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 no. And he's going like this. That bird's crossed his eyes, and it's just like you would use for like a scope on a gun, or your camera even. He's got hitting it, and anything on the side you're not going to see, either do they. Now, let me fix his feather. He's got one that he's going to be pulling out. He's going to preen, is what he's doing. He's going to molt now, and so we're going through the molting, so you're going to see feathers going, okay? And by the end of next month, it's going to look like a chicken exploded in my cages, so we're quite used to it. He is the red-tailed hawk. He's the most common hawk found across the whole United States. If you go back east, they're lighter.
It's beautiful.
As more you come out to California, the darker they get. If you go to Alaska, they're almost a black. They get this beautiful red tail when they're 2 years old, and that makes them a full-fledged adult. I've seen 2 albinos, all white with a light red tail, up in the Kings Canyon area. The middle talon and the back talon are the killing talons. The 2 side talons here for gripping and for holding on. He's got over 600 pounds per square inch in those talons. They can go all the way through your arm. Like I'm not going through butter. I can testify to it really. But the doctor knows me real well. Yes.
He's magnificent.
He's what we call a buteo, meaning broad wing. That means he can open those wings and stay out there for the rest of the day. We have 36 hawks down in the United States, and I'm putting in 2 eagles, 5 falcons, and 3 narrow-wing hawks, the sharpshin, the Cooper's hawk, and the goshawk. The rest fall in his family, buteo. Now, how fast did he fly? Cruising speed 55, but in a dive, he hits about 120. Right before he strikes, he'll fan that beautiful red tail, cock his legs back like this, and strike at 100 miles an hour. Now, we know this isn't the fastest one. The fastest one is the peregrine falcon. Cruising speed for them is between 60 and 120. We clocked him in Kings Canyon in a dive, doing a little over 300 miles an hour. So when you hear 200, it's not even close. I mean, we had the radar gun on that bird, and we were clocking it, and it was hitting just a little over 300 miles an hour. So he's not that fast. But he can do something that the falcon can't do, though. He can open these wings and catch the current, and he can soar like this. And he can soar all the way up to 20,000 feet. And our little falcon can't do that.
So the oxygen supply is,
Yeah,
your
and
body accommodates.
it accommodates it. They usually don't go up that high, and the only reason I know they do is because pilots have told me that your birds are up there with me. I said, okay. Because it took me 17 years to get that answer. I looked, it's not in any book, it's not anywhere. It's me from 2 pilots telling me that answer, so, which I really appreciate. Now, he'll live to be about 15 years old. Birds of prey do mate for life. You should see them out there now. They should be soaring, okay? And if you see feet dangling, that means they're a pair. And they should be starting laying eggs next month. And what's going to happen is after the baby's flesh, which takes 5 months, she will kick him, okay, about 100 feet away. For the rest of the year, he has to find his own food. So he'll take down a cottontail, or she'll take down a jackrabbit. But they will stay close to each other for the whole year. What do you see?
How much can they carry and take
They
back to
can
a
take
nest?
4 times their weight back. He weighs 2 pounds, 9 ounces. So, yes.
So your cat.
Your cat, very easily, yes. Sorry, Fluffy, but yes. One of my instructors was a falconer, and his second bird, of course, was a red-tailed hawk. Now, he would take the bird out and he would fly it. Well, this older woman had a cat, and that cat, he had his bird on a perch in his backyard, you know, sitting out there. Well, the cat stopped the bird. Well, the bird goes, "Bring it on," you know. And of course, you know who won. And so he said he took the cat, and he was out in the field, so he tossed the cat. And he said he could hear the poor little old lady going, "Fluffy," and didn't have a heart to tell her.
Fluffy wasn't coming home.
It was quite coming. So I can tell you guys that story, but, oh, yeah. And then the other story he had is our smallest falcon. It's called the American kestrel. It's about the size of a robin. If you take them out of the nest before their eyes are open, it really confuses them. So he did that, which the falconer told him he shouldn't have done it. And so this poor little bird who thought he was this size, his first kill was a cow. So here he landed on the cow, was trying to kill a cow. And this little tiny robin-sized bird just was really confused. So, questions about a red tail that I can answer for you? They eat things like gophers and ground squirrels and toads and lizards and frogs. Of course, all the rodents that he can take down. But this one is the #1 snake killer, even go after rattlesnakes.
Really?
Yes. I seen an immature, that means one without the red tail yet, go down. She had the rattlesnake in her hand, her talons. She didn't know what to do with it, so she took it over to a rock, beat it to death, then ate it. So they do use tools if they have to. And the other time was I was doing wildlife studies, and it was boring. I'm sorry, months without finding what I was looking for. And I saw this huge rattlesnake crossing the road, so I played bowling for rattlesnakes. They get mad if you throw rocks at them, I want you to know that, okay? And so I threw 3 rocks, I'll be really honest with you. And so I said, that was fun, and turned around to go look for my birds. Just in time to hear a red tail come down, pick it up, take it all the way up in the air, drop it, and then come down to eat it. I went, oh, one less snake to get it.
So when you retire, what happens to Aragon, and does he know?
I'm still going to do the schools.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to still do the schools, but I'm not going to do the Forest Service part of it.
And will you take in new birds?
Always.
Okay.
I'll always do that until I can't do this anymore, yeah. You ready to go down? Here we go. Yeah, it's going to be baby season pretty soon, so I will be ready.
And how many chicks do they have on average?
This one has between 2 to 4, pending.
Now, does Aragon have a mate?
No, he has me. And he's fine with that.
Ooh.
He doesn't know yet that I'm not the same. Hold on, I gotta have a few first.
Whoa. Oh, my gosh.
He says hi.
Oh, my gosh.
This is Max. And Max is a great horned owl, the tiger of the sky, #1 top predator sitting on my hand right now.
Goodness.
Head goes all the way around, doesn't it?
270 degrees, he has 14 bones in his neck, and you and I have 7. But we can move our eyes back and forth, and the owls cannot. We are in mating mode right now, We've been this way since October, day and night. My neighbors like the sound, I'm glad. Yeah. Okay, that's the sound that the rehab has never heard. Yes, I know that sound, I know what it means. When Max was 12 years old, Max is 19, by the way. When Max was 12 years old, this bird was hooting in my backyard. I live right in the middle of the city. I mean, right there, okay? And I woke my husband up at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, honey, there's another owl in the backyard. Don't worry, Max is in his cage, no problem. Well, after that, Max started making that sound, that sound. Every time I pulled that bird out of there, it would do it. The rehab had never heard that sound in the 34 years that it's been there. They go, we don't know what's wrong. Have you had your bird by chickens, Diane? I said, no, there's not a chicken nowhere. Well, it kept doing that. Well, one day, Max, that sound, yeah. It was daytime and Max started making this sound. Like, so I go running in the backyard, because something's wrong. This is nocturnal. It shouldn't be up. So I go running in the backyard and go back away. And in the corner of Max's cage was an egg. This is Maxine, really. Oh, you didn't know either. Everything on this bird is wrong. She needs to be about this much taller. She needs a 60-inch wingspan. She needs to weigh 5 pounds. The vet said that part she's got, but she was a little on the chunky side like the handler, okay? So, what happened? Well, great horned owls will lay an egg every 3 days. They're supposed to lay between 2 to 6, except Max. She lays 8. Except last year, she laid 11. It was a crazy year. Remember how in California got hot, cold? It confused her totally. So she laid 4 eggs and quit. And then she said, oh, guess, it's warm again. I think I'll lay some more. So she laid the others. I know. So we think what would happen to her was, because they hatch every 3 days, if there's not enough food, the bigger owlets will actually eat the smaller ones. We think she got enough food to stay alive, but not enough protein to get her height, so we have a short, squatty female. But she does have the attitude, believe me. The first 2 years I had this bird, she was mean. I mean, totally mean. When you walked into the cage, it was terrifying. I mean, I actually carried a towel with me so I could hold it up to protect my face to get to her. My husband just opens the door and shoves me in. So tell me when you got it, okay? Okay, what does she eat? Aragon and Max both live from the desert all the way up to 9,000 feet across the whole United States. If you go back east on this one, it's in gray tones. Come out to California, we have the brown tones. Okay, what do you eat? Mice, moles, rats, insects, possums, raccoons, skunks, snakes, other owls, other hawks, your dog, your cat, badgers, bobcats, and eagles.
Eagles.
No problem. Eagles will actually change nest sites if one of their feathers are found anywhere in their radius. And this bird has a 20-mile radius, and when she has babies, that 20 goes to 40. There's over 800 pounds per square inch in these talons. If she wanted to, she could break my hand right now. She also has what we call a death grip, where she'll lock down, and every time you wiggle, she locks harder and harder. And there was a couple times where they've had to destroy the bird and take the talons out of the person.
Oof.
Yeah, because you guys aren't preschoolers, I can tell you this. There was a man in Canada who wore a raccoon skin cap in the woods.
We know where this is going.
This bird cruises about 12 miles an hour, but in a dive hits 55. But when it hits, it's like a 5-pound sledgehammer hitting you in the back of the neck. It broke the man's neck and killed him. That's how hard this bird hits. It is not afraid of anybody. It could be in Kansas, it could be nesting on the ground, and it said, bring on the badgers, because it doesn't care.
So what are its predators?
Us, and that's the only thing.
Really?
We're the only ones that can hurt her.